Kevin Sansalone is someone that just really loves to snowboard and just really wants to, give back to it, really.
This guy, a classic style, classic Canadian style.
The person that every parent should want their kid to look up to.
I grew up in Deep Cove, right underneath Mount Seymour in North Vancouver. It was the best thing ever living that close to the mountain. Not only was I super close, the mountain was open like every day of the week. Just me and my brother, both my mom and dad were born in Italy. I always joke about like secret to my success was like being super close to Mount Seymour and growing up eating amazing Italian food. We started filming skateboarding and snowboarding pretty early, probably like 13, 14, and I had cameras around all the time. I remember it super clear. We were at my buddy's house, we called Mount Seymour and we were like, are you guys gonna let snowboarding this year? And they were like, yeah, we're gonna let snowboarding on the mountain. So we all went out and bought these cheap Zellers snowboards, and it was a cool new time. There was it was like a new sport on this mountain. We had a lot of pull-up at Seymour. They listened to us. We were getting them tons of exposure too.
Back in the day, riding Seymour, just Kevin and the whole Seymour Kids crew really just put Seymour on the map. You couldn't open a magazine without seeing 10 pages on Seymour, and it was, those guys were pioneering all that stuff.
I think we were spoiled for sure growing up in Vancouver. We started taking the train to Whistler at a young age and riding up there. As I started to get into it more and more, everything else in my life took a backseat to snowboarding. My very first sponsor was Deep Cove Snowboards. He made a little ad in the newspaper. It was pretty funny. My first real sponsor came from Santa Cruz Snowboards and Sessions Clothing. Sean Kearns rode for them, and that's how it goes, right? The older generation hooks up the younger guys. We were like the kings of Seymour. We could do anything we wanted, and it was a real cool time. But snowboarding was definitely changing, and it was getting more serious. And so yeah, moved to Whistler, just worked super hard at some stuff, and that year won the Westbeach Classic, my first Westbeach Classic. And that night after I won that contest, I got on Option. That got me invited to X Games, and I won that X Games, the first one in '99. It was like a big thing for sure for me.
I think a lot of people don't know how successful Kevin's been in snowboarding. He took Peter Line down in the big air at the X Games with a switch backside rodeo, which at the time was the first switch backside rodeo.
Option Snowboards was from Vancouver. We had our own factory right there in Vancouver. It couldn't have been a better setup, I'd make my own boards. I was designing boards and riding them right here in Whistler.
They were kind of owning their backyard at that time. Those were definitely the bigger years for Option. He was a big reason why they're so successful, I think.
Kevin's pro model, a lot of people knew about it, a lot of people rode it. I think a lot of people thought it was one of the best pro models around, so I definitely think, that Kevin Sansalone is and always will be the face of Option.
He had heard about some stuff that you could hike to that are off the back of the chair. And we hiked to this one spot and we were like, wow, we can make a jump right here. I remember Kevin doing a huge method and shot from behind, and it was all of Vancouver in the water, just amazing, amazing view. And I think that was my very first photo I ever had printed in Transworld.
I was definitely getting into the backcountry, and that's when we started getting sleds. It was an early time. We were on kind of maybe that second wave of guys exploring the backcountry around here.
He's influenced everybody. I mean, definitely myself. I wanted that truck, and I wanted a sled, and I wanted to be able to snowboard where Kevin was snowboarding.
Growing up at Seymour and doing the little hikes into the backcountry at Seymour, going out on the sled in Whistler was just that much bigger, that much better. And
Kev was, like I was saying, was just a really hard worker. And that was something that came out in his snowboarding as well.
Skids is short for Seymour Kids. All had this kind of same style of snowboarding together, same passion for what we liked in videos and what we liked to do. And it was little off the cuff, not super serious, and that's what we liked. We didn't like all the serious stuff that was out there, so we wanted to have fun with it. And we just gave it away for free, and Transworld did a big article on it, and a bunch of magazines got into it, and it kind of just caught on from there.
It was pretty much for me like a dream come true, hanging with those guys and just go out, have fun, and film stuff, and that's, that worked. And then, a lot of the stuff was just partying and getting up to crazy stuff.
And those guys were the first take on, we're not a big film crew, we're not trying to make movies, we're trying to, market ourselves, and we're trying to put something together that we really feel is important to snowboarding. They really set the stage for other small groups and companies to come out.
From how it came from, skids to sandbox, where it was just everyone was, having fun and doing whatever and, just partying and stuff, to where it is now is pretty amazing.
And we wanted to start shooting more 16mm film, and we wanted to get some more sponsors, and we wanted to travel more and stuff like that. So we made a conscious decision to start Sandbox.
Everyone kind of involved is all friends.
I was making good money snowboarding, like with my pro models and stuff with Option, and I was like sinking all of that stuff into the movies.
Once you take on like a whole video and a whole crew and everybody, and you're in charge of that, it's like you not only have to think about what you're doing, but you got to think about all of those riders, the filmers, everybody.
For me, hanging out with the younger guys has been great. Like, it keeps me motivated, it keeps me doing stuff. And
Kev's definitely in like the latter part of his career, focused on like bringing up younger riders.
Kevin, he's helped out a lot of kids in Canada, especially with his sandbox videos. Seen a lot of kids film like a few shots for his video or a full part or whatever, and then they get called up from Transworld and stuff like that.
He was really helpful with me and with everyone, because when he started Sandbox, basically if the talent was there with the riders, he'd give them a chance to film for the video.
When you want to film, you need sponsors backing you. If you don't have the money, what do you do? Well, and if you're good at it, it's hard, and Kev will give you that chance,
It's definitely the coolest thing, and like the thing that I'm most thankful for that's happened for me in snowboarding.
when I left Option Snowboards, I knew I was at a point in my career where I didn't want to like go and find another sponsor. I just knew I wanted to ride some really good boards and design some of my own boards. I really have a big passion for the snowboards. Like, I like experimenting with different shapes and different materials, and so that's been really fun too. The swallowtails, the like pontoon style boards.
It's another guy that makes stuff happen for himself, and he loves snowboarding. He still gets out there and goes for it.
He's connected to like the kids that want to come up and want to keep pushing the sport, and I think that's totally respectful.
You do what you think is right, you do what makes you happy, you do what's good for the community and the people around you.
One of the nicest guys in snowboarding. He accepts everybody, and that's why people love him. That's why he's gone so far, because he doesn't think he's better than anybody else.
That's what's kept Kevin going for so many years, is he cares about every side. He cares about the industry, he cares about the journalists, he cares about the photographers, the young snowboarders, and his company. And I think that's the reason why he's had such a long, sustainable career.
And also just being able to still do it. Having experienced a lot of sides of snowboarding is a pretty cool feeling. The competition side of things, the like controversies that I've had, the friendships, the travels, all those cool things. Still enjoying it every day and having fun with it is probably, and just thinking about that is I enjoy it. I enjoy every little bit of it.
He's just like a rad dude, and if it's a good pow day, you'll see him up there, he's loving it. So, and if you see him in the backcountry, he's out having a good time and likes the vibe of seeing a bunch of other crews and hanging out. So
You see him like on the glacier in the rain. He's like, usually a man of his age is like, I don't need to go on the glacier and go snowboarding in the rain, but I don't know, he just is down.
He's got a really kind of pleasant, calm demeanor, but at the same time, he's got a kid's energy as well.
As far back as I can remember, Kev's had the life. Before I even moved to Whistler, he was that guy that he had the white Toyota SR5 with the Mickey Thompson off-road tires, with a mini dirt bike, a mountain bike, and a sled, and a hot girlfriend.
I'm at a neat balance point in my life. Try to balance between business and play.
He's done everything that a Canadian rider always wants to do. He's gotten international recognition. I only have a handful of guys that have made it in the North American market.
Kev's one of the people that knew right from the start that hard work's what makes you feel good.
To have those play days, you gotta have the work days too, I guess.
Anything that he's involved in, that you're involved in, he's gonna bring your productivity, and anything that you do, he's gonna bring the level of that up. You can still go out there and get stuff done, and he actually just last year got like a cover of a European snowboard magazine.
The guy's just been around for so long that you almost wouldn't know how successful he's been unless you were there from the beginning. He's been doing this for like 25 years, and he's been killing every aspect of it. He's got a great life, and I think he deserves it because he's been open-minded and he's busted his ass for 25 years.
Basically, I'm like, I don't know, I call it like maintaining. Like when I go skate now, I'm just like, I'm not trying to learn any new tricks. I'm trying to just have fun and do the tricks I could do last year, you know? And same with snowboarding. I'm not like progressing with a lot of new tricks, but I'm maintaining the tricks that I really enjoy doing, or yeah, maybe take it to a bigger line or a bigger jump or something like that. But yeah, I'm not really progressing anymore, but maintaining, call it maintaining.
Stoked on maintaining.
I'm stoked on maintaining.